Hi guys, Scatlink here. Welcome to my modding showcasing sub-series, Hats Off to You, a series of which we try out community-created hats, costumes, functions, singular levels, full chapters, or time rifts created by the Hat in Time fan community via the Steam Workshop. This will also include any challenge roads of which will have their own video dedicated to earning ourselves a trophy, of which would otherwise be permanently missed. It's so pecking cold. But I've been keeping myself warm because it's the turn of the new year, and yes, I'm late for this once again. I've been busy planning projects for the year, but I've also been involved with the revival of the Versus channel by attacking toucans, so please check out the live stream I've already done on Pikmin 1 of that, as well as obviously the Versus channel itself, because Community Versus is back as well, in full swing, in a term of a new modernised Battle Royale mode, where you do rounds, and you basically get knocked out, and Hat in Time may also be suggested. It was actually suggested for the after party of the stream last night, but Smash Ultimate 1, classic mode. But enough about that, we are here for more of a Hat in Time, and with our nice collector's hat right here. I don't know what's going on, but for some reason, the thumbnails that they show off on social media for the new challenge roads, including in the game itself, for some reason have reversed the order of the images again. So you would see mechanical memory be before the big blue rift. So I thought, because, you know, that was fixed, wasn't it? For some reason, that's broke again. Don't know how that's happened, but I will be editing the those images to be the correct way round, because they are supposed to be that way now. Up until the change where they actually fixed it, because it was broken for so long, like 50 plus challenge roads, what the heck. But yeah, speaking of, this is a very unique challenge road actually, because we effectively have 10 levels in one right here, which honestly feels more like the rest of the level is of one level, and then segment 6, I believe, is practically its own level, or 2 levels, so to speak. And that segment of this big blue rift collab is probably the most toughest part of this challenge road. There is technically another tough part in Time Rift Mechanical Memory, which I believe these both count as blue Time Rifts, because I definitely get rolls on Mechanical Memory during my practice run on my personal file. There is a tough part in Time Rift Mechanical Memory, but it is optional, but you have to go through one of the two in order to beat the Big Blue Rift Collab. But if you do both of them, you get a Rift token. There's 1 in the Big Rift Collab, 13 in the Mechanical Memory. That is a lot, but don't worry, you get a sizable amount of those two in pretty decent chunks. First of all, we have the Blue Rift Collab by Jab Rules, but also featuring level design by Nachito, Catwish, Bonacle, Dr. Treefrog, Napar, Tit, Super Inklink, Ultraboo, Ryuz, and Miss Katsune. Organised by Jab Rules, decoration by Catwish and Dr. Treefrog. Estimated playtime of around 30 minutes. We plan on hosting more collab levels like this, so keep an eye out in modding general in the Hat Cord in order to, if you want to participate. It definitely not got stuck in limbo for over a year. Nope, I don't know what you're talking about. What is this mod about? Well, it's a massive blue rift created by 10 different talented modders. Each modder was given 3 days to create their own section of the blue rift, with free reign on what they wanted to put in, as long as they didn't make it too difficult. I can't remember if the level design credits here are in order, but there are signs throughout the level that will basically spell that out for you. Also, you get a preview of all 10 segments in the thumbnail, which is absolutely amazing. This is a 30-minute Blue Rift Gauntlet, but actually of varying colours. Kind of insane that. And next we have Mechanical Memory by Godzilla 540, but due to international copyright, although it's actually not Godzilla. But we should still celebrate like it is Godzilla, although it isn't. Now with Death Wish support, and I will actually be doing that one because it's not that bad, and we also get a reward for it. Remember, you need the Ice Hat, Dweller Mask, and the Hook Shot. This map will take about 6 to 12 minutes, depends on how you play. If you are more casual with platformers, this level will be hard for you. If you are more familiar with a Hat in Time or 3D platformers in general, this will be an easy medium for you. Enjoy the map, and comments and ratings are in fact appreciated. I'm going to like this, just because you said that. Why did that break my game? There we go. Wow. That's a bit weird. Ta-la! Thank you, and have a stupendous day. I backed up, and it's once again froze my game. Okay, I should not have rated it. Wow, what happened there? I'll like this anyway. There's only one sour spot in this level for me, but that's probably just down to a skew issue for me. So, I might die. Who knows? But, yeah. This is going to be a bit of a big one. Can you stop freezing? Just because I've marked a thumbs up, that's what's breaking you right now. Challenge Road 71. Let's begin. So, as I said with this particular level, the Big Rift Collab, Section 6 is probably the most difficult part. So, if you can get past that, then you're good. And you also have an option of which way to go. You can also do this as an online party, because you actually have the machine here, if you really want to do that. Also, cheeky pecky bird in here. Get out of it. Nothing in this one. So, we've got like a nice little like party lobby here. Just to chill out if you want to. I actually kind of like this little lobby thing. I guess you could play this like a Squid Game sort of thing, maybe. But yeah, this is basically 10 levels in one, but there's only one Rift token to collect here. And that's only if you do both of the split, basically, which is in, ironically enough, Section 6. Of course, it's the outlier, both in collectibles for the fact it's the only one, as well as being difficult. Section number 1, made by Jab Rules. So Jab Rules basically spearheaded the whole project and started it off, and they like their urchins. To the point that this urchin wants to be rude! Let's get the brewing hat. Nope, that didn't work. Thankfully he doesn't hurt us, but he does fall, but then immediately respawn. So let's get out of here. Start climbing up these pillars that we just raised. And swing on over to the next segment of... well, the next part of segment 1. Shall I say. Just gotta dodge the urchins. Just run. It's pretty much all you need to do. These don't hurt you. The red ones do, obviously, because they are the rude ones. These are basically just glorified boulders that just knock you backwards with a light sting that doesn't cause damage, but it causes knockback. Just grab one of this. Swing on out of here. For the third part, well, I say third part, this is the very last bit. I like how you got this urchin that is trying to work out while watching the news, apparently, to seal the deal. Yeah, we've got a lot of these boo stickers on this particular segment, because it's by Nachito. I'm guessing that's their logo. Also, another sign here, you just... This makes it sound like it applies to the whole level, but only to their segment of the level. The following crows have exactly maximum health, basically. For your safety, please avoid the crows and do not attack, interact, or hug. You know what happens if you try to? Did you see how many hits I did right there in a single combo? Yeah, just avoid them. Just jump over them. Not an issue otherwise. There we are. Checkpoint already. Cloudy P. Hello, good sir. Or madam, depending on who you are. Dodge the fire. Do not get launched. Look at all the Nachitos floating around. As we blast by at the speed of sound. Come on, it's time to go do the Mario. They just killed each other, it sounded like. That's kind of funny. We'll just leave them be. Now, unfortunately, we cannot jump over these guys. So I recommend time stop hat for this. Now, there wasn't actually any requirements for, listed for the next level in the Challenge Road, but I'll basically get to that. You basically do need Ice Hat, but once again, you need Ice Hat to access the mod room, so there you go. Alright, so now we're on to segment 3, made by Catwish, so I'm probably not going to have a mass load of credits, or I might do, I'm not too sure yet. Catwish loves their sliding obstacle courses, so that's what we got to do. Dodge the exploding rumbies, use the balloons to launch yourself into these cat boxes that teleport us to the next segment. Honestly, these rings on legs look like something out of Deltarune, I'm really lying to you. There we go. Takes a couple of tries if you're not used to it, but you just swing on into action, get back into a slide. Thankfully, if you do start failing and some of these rumbies do explode, they will not respawn, so technically additional tries does make it easier. Also, no checkpoints throughout this entire segment until you finish it into the next segment. Section 4 by Barnacle. We're blasting through. We're blasting through at sonic speed. So, Barnacle with the Botanical Garden theme right here. Also, a bunch of vinyl record discs. And a bunch of jukeboxes as well. So, there's kind of like a grassy, jazzy theme going on here. That got scuffed. Okay, I'm not going to do that next time. Honestly, I didn't need to do that. I was just going with the flow, as it were. So let's just not do that, shall we? Really? That was high enough for me to land on my bottom? I'm just going to go for the spring. Rumby spring! Let's go. Haha! Part 2 of segment... I've lost track already. Segment 5. These records go pretty quick. I probably shouldn't be sprinting. Right, so I'm just going to jump. Just keep jumping against the spin, and we're good. There we go. Right, part 3. That was weird. I heard something in the background there. Hello, you. Oh, by the way, you can technically fall into the middle of these vinyls, but it's quite hard to do so because Hack Kid actually tends to vault out of them quite often. Hey, I'm Barnacle, creator of this segment. I'll be honest, I ran out of ideas, so here you go, Pushy Crow segment. Oh, this little guy? Funny you ask. He's actually from a game I'm working on called Dustpocalypse. Alright, self-promotion, I see you. No one else has done that. Kind of a Vampire Survivors clone, but with a cute cat and a Roomba with a gun. Sure. Maximum metal, but you're playing as a Rumby. Sounds like playing with the unlockable character in GoldenEye N64. You can actually play it for free without downloading. Just search up Dustpocalypse game and it should come up. Anyway, that has been your daily dose of propaganda. Have fun with the rest of the level. Barnacle out. So Barnacle's a cat with legs. Yeah, this is kinda nightmarish. It might be worth... Oh boy, yep. It might be worth... Oh, I was holding the button to go to time stop hat. Might be worth doing that on the later ones. You can technically kill these guys, but I believe they respawn. Yeah, as you can see, they're not invincible, so don't have to worry about that too much. There we are. We're good now. Alright, this green one does hurt you, but he can easily be defeated by just guiding to be pushed off. But once he's been pushed off once, he's no longer a requirement to actually defeat in order to unlock the thing. I'm going to die. Actually, I don't think the green urchin can hurt us now because he's technically been defeated. And unfortunately, any enemies that drop items like ponds and health on these vinyls that spin around, they just fall right through. So if we've been having any health drop, unfortunately, I cannot bank on it. I might just go for a homing attack. There we go. Yep, see, there we are. There was some health there, but unfortunately, I missed out on it. Kind of a shame, really. Whee! Sequenced. Haha! Next segment. Made by Dr. Treefrog. Also, Super Inkling has said hello while passing through. Gotta hit these in order. But the main gimmick here is that we have unkillable bonefish. You hit them once and they collapse like dry bones, and then they get back up. Just don't let them hit you with their swords. At least I've got some health there, which is very nice. Bounce with it. Back up and around. Grab that real quick and back up to max health. I can avoid all of this by just doing this. Although, you do want to go back for this burning lamppost in order for a checkpoint. And we can come back over here, climb up these gears. Mind these fires. This looks familiar from a level. I can't exactly remember what level, but I do remember this being quite the gimmick with... I thought they were like fiery tridents, but they were just using the lamppost model, as we will be seeing as we're going through here. So dodge the fire and keep your wits about you. Don't hit any of these on the way down. Nice. Yep, here we go. Look at that. And those shockwave hit booms can actually hit you. We have a button here to get through. Now, what you're supposed to do is go all... Well, you know what? I'm going to do it anyway because I am going to show it. But I'm pretty sure, just like in other instances, if you're quick enough on tapping the button, you can get through there. Oh, no, you can't actually climb up the wall. I might be doing it wrong, but if you're quick enough, you might be able to do that. I haven't really tried, and I still want to show off the full level. So there's a lot of fire and bonefish here that we've got to just jump against. That was a mistake. Yeah, the fire actually kills your upward momentum, so... Yeah, I kind of screwed that up completely. Time stop hat might be useful there, but it's fine, because we have now... Pumpkin! Pumpkin, what? If you lose the pumpkin, press this button, it will reset the pumpkin. I guess it was better than a cherry bomb. Now, what you're supposed to do is jump through this obstacle course here, but if you... Okay, I didn't actually mean to void out there, but ironically enough, because I landed on my bottom, I dropped the pumpkin. If you void out, you keep the pumpkin, as long as it's in your hands. So, yeah, screwed up there. So let me show that again, but this time not actually land on my bottom. Oh, okay. Wait, during practice, that happened. I was able to void out and keep the pumpkin. Oh, come on, really? Give me that. Do this a third time. Bob Saget. I'll do it properly. I was going to do it properly anyway. I didn't mean to fall down, but then I was confused as to why what happened during practice didn't happen, and now it legitimately just didn't happen. So I guess I got lucky in practice. Just voiding out with the pumpkin in my hands. So let's not do that. Yeah, I didn't land on my bottom that time. And I should have double jumped. Right, smack them to knock them down. Jump over the fire. Remember that you can toss the pumpkin before you jump, which may be worth considering that you can't double jump yourself. Yeah, I was just doing that for safety. So this is what you're supposed to do. Just don't press the wrong button by accident, whatever you do. There we are. Guessing you could use the light bulb with Nico's hat as well. But as you can see, these buttons do not work unless you press them in the right order. It's like a Donkey Kong or Banjo-Kazooie game. There we are. Nice. Oh, I almost got shoved. It's fine. I lived. Got some health here. Watch out. Alright, let's just full send. Alright, they're falling a little bit earlier than what I can reach, and I overshot that. And they stopped me from climbing up the wall. Also, camera made me go the wrong way. Here I am trying to be clever, and now I'm getting screwed out. Okay, we won't climb that wall at all, I guess. I mean, okay, I can understand that I'm being a little bit silly, but at the same time, it's like, why could I not climb that wall? That ain't my fault. And we're still going on this segment, by the way. This is a pretty long segment. I had a lot of ideas. I hit that one. 2 and 3. This brings this cog towards us so we can jump across. And there we go. Just one final straight here. A couple of health if we need it. Just, yeah, they're very slow on their swings, so it's not too bad. In fact, they're kind of slow on reacting that they got smacked. But a unique enemy. That's something you don't always see. Right, we've got Pumpkin again. This time, no trickery this time. Toss it while you're jumping. Smack him. Do it again. Those couldn't possibly hit me. I was actually able to toss that on the button in practice, so I'm just flubbing up completely today. No health? No health. Okay, cool. Whee! Alright, now. That may have been a long segment. This is the toughest segment. By Napar Tit. Honestly, I felt this was a little bit janky at first. But Golden Moustache Girl. Hi! Hi, Hat King, it's me, Orange Moustache Girl. So yeah, you originally had to do both of these segments to progress, but they're kind of crazy. So Jab Rules changed it so you only need to do one. It was bordering on the line of difficulty, I take it. If you still feel like doing both, there is one Rift token up for grabs. Yeah, have fun, I guess. So, 2 challenges. You don't have to do both. And the easiest one, admittedly... I mean, this one's the shortest one. This one is longer, but is easier in my opinion. But you do need the no bonk badge in order to do this one. So if you don't have no bonk badge, I'm afraid this is going to be your only option. I guess I'll do the one that's available for everyone first. The following segment contains some momentum platforming. Here's a fun fact to know about Hat Kid's jump. She is able to retain any sort of momentum that the platform she was standing on had. That's how you read it. That's not a typo. This applies to double jumping as well. Balloons, mushrooms, and springs are also able to retain your current momentum whenever you land on them, though it's not always the case. They will retain your momentum in this segment. But be careful, diving at any point during a momentum jump will override your current momentum with the dive's own momentum. And it could be slower than whatever your current momentum was. So basically, if you dive, you're basically screwed here. Diving is basically an impossibility. There's everything for this momentum tutorial. Now go on and conquer. Yeah, this is the toughest one, and you can't actually attempt it until you read the sign anyway. And it's kind of good that there wasn't much momentum going on with the level in the first place, but honestly, the first jump here is the most difficult in my opinion. Yeah, I didn't get it. Yeah, I didn't get it again. It's like those bloody bottles in that Mafia fridge. Yep, I lunged, and that's not going to help. Also, when you do one segment, that panel will be available to continue. When it tries to activate the panel again by doing the second one, that's what will spawn the token. So, you have 6 heart ponds starting off, so you've actually got a bit of a buffer here. Again, I would love to do the sliding first, but it requires a badge, so you may or may not have that. Alright, we can lunge here. And I'm not going to make it, so I had to lunge. You only have to kill the enemies once. That's not a problem. I didn't want you punching me. It's probably best to attack these enemies at a distance, just so you don't accidentally get voided out by getting punched off the side like Smash, or... You know, just taking damage that you don't need, because you would probably need all the health you can get. Alright, all dead. None of them dropped heart ponds, but I didn't actually have any damage. This is going to launch us up, and we've got to go in this direction. Now, momentum's not really necessary for anything other than this first jump here. So when it pushes you up like that, that's when you got to jump. Like that! Look how much height we get. Now, we just got to make sure we don't get pushed by these. So you're going to have to do a quick double jump. That was the wrong time to do that. I'm stupid. Unfortunately, you got to do it all in one go. So now I've got to do the first jump again. These will be the parts I'll probably be speeding up. Oh my lord! It moved when I was about to land on it, and it pushed me into the pit. God's sake. I overshot it! Really? Most of the time I undershoot it. The one time I overshoot. That's stupid. There we go. I didn't even need a lunge for that one. Okay. So now I've got no heart ponds at the start. I screwed this up like an idiot. Because they move, and then they move back into position. So you don't swing here. So wait for them to move twice. Like that. Double jump, lunge, and then immediately hook shot the next hook. Yep, okay, so we got a lot more health here, and we got a checkpoint, thank God for that. So, this is probably the next hardest part. You actually got to do this in one go, like that. I didn't say anything, but you can kind of figure it out. If it's purple, you have to have the hat active. If you see green, take it off. Except for the springs. The green springs are actually green crystals. They don't get affected by the Dweller hat. Mask, even. Well, I guess it is mask and hat at the moment, considering I'm wearing the one that came from the latest summer event of 2025. Please don't expand that again. Right. At least it doesn't shove us off the platform. But you can see what we've got to do. We've got balloons here. You've really only got a double jump for safety. Right, we've got another 6 heart ponds here. They do give you a lot of heart ponds, but there's no checkpoint here. So we've got the last bit to do. So if we try to see where we've got to go for those mushrooms over there. As long as you touch the blue mushroom, that's another checkpoint. I don't know if you can land on the clock tower. Probably not. Now, okay, I know that this is not Haboy, but this screams mushroom heaven and hell. Precision bouncing all the way through, not really momentum based here, which is like the challenge we're supposed to be doing, so it's kind of odd why this bit's here, honestly, in my opinion. If it's momentum based, why am I now doing precision jumping? Yeah, as I said, we get a checkpoint here, and thankfully you don't take void out damage at this particular point. So maybe they ran out of ideas, but they already had the goal over here, and I don't know. I can only theorize, so... But yeah, this really does feel like Haboy more than Napar did. I double jumped right above that, so I messed my own timing up on that one. For God's sake. As I said, the first jump is by far the most difficult. So once you get that down, that's this segment complete. But I still think that is the harder of the two routes. And you got to do them both on the same life in order to not only move on, but to get the Rift token as well. But if you do move on, you do get a checkpoint, so you don't have to do it again. Alright. Second segment. No bonk badge is required. We got... oh, wait, I can't reach it. I need to read the sign first. Because we need to know how the mechanic works. The following segment contains some no-bonk platforming. No bonking involves diving into a platform that is angled in a way where it doesn't allow you to either stand or wall slide off of it, causing you to bonk or slide in normal circumstances. Yeah, some of them I have actually been able to wall slide off of it, even though I'm full sending into a no-bonk slide, and that screws me over, so... hopefully that doesn't happen. However, if you have the no-bonk badge equipped, you will instead start moving forwards at a great burst of speed. But be careful, as your only option is to cancel your dive, and you won't have many options mobility-wise. So if you haven't already equipped your no-bonk badge, then all you need to do is dive onto the platforms that are fully covered in ice in order to no-bonk. Important. No-bonk surfing will not work properly if you have hold backwards to cancel diving turned on, because you need to sometimes change your speed and stuff when you're in mid-air. You'll not be able to complete the section unless you turn it off. Well, I don't like it on, so it's off. There's everything on this no-bonk tutorial. Go on and conquer. There we go. Right, so you know how it goes. Whee! And it starts off fairly easy, just so you can get into the flow of things. But that's another problem that I have with this particular segment, where not only were like two segments considered too difficult, and only doing one of them requires a badge that you may or may not have, depending on how far you are in the game and if you bought it or not. Well, as one just uses the momentum of the game, so that's fine. But also kind of difficult. It also kills the pace of the level, because all the rest of the segments, you remove this part, and it just flows. Like, honestly, it just flows. And this is the halfway point, in my opinion. I mean, it's segment 6, but it does, considering its length, it is most certainly halfway. Right, so what we got to do is lunge, and we need to really hug the right side here in order to get enough height in order to land here. And then you got to cancel and mash the attack button, home attack. The prompt will not come up. If you wait for the prompt, it's actually too late. So we got a lot of double jump lunging here as well to clear the gaps. Get onto this gear. And there we go. Right, so once again, we need Dweller Mask. That is our cue. Basically, you have to use the hat, or the mask, excuse me. I keep saying hat, it is technically, but also it's the Dweller Mask. You have to use it before you go into a lunge. You cannot use your hats otherwise. So, like this. Otherwise, it will wear off too quickly. We also got to use it right before we commit to a lunge here. So, left trigger before right trigger is the best way to do it. So you get the most time to have the Dweller Mask active while you're sliding. And there we go. We don't even need to fight these enemies, but I'm going to, because I don't want them to accidentally burn me. Aha! And there we are, already done. That's already there, but you can see that there was a bit of a shine there. We now have our Rift token. Do I actually have... I have one in reserve. Okay. So, throughout this entire challenge road. This level has 1. The next level has 13, so that's 14 total. Plus another 2, because you can get the timepiece outside of the challenge road to get a mod rift token, which adds to your totals. So that's 17 total from this challenge road alone. And all it requires you to do in this one is just to basically do the full level. So now we actually have to go backwards, leave this segment, and we can finally take this. If you've respawned here after you did one segment, you might see this, immediately do it, and then realise you screwed yourself out. So, just be careful. Whee! Hello, you. A singular pushy crow on a rift platform. Boss time. Full combo, easy win. And that you have to do that in order to move on. So after all that puzzling, platforming, you then get a false boss fight, and that is finally the end of Section 6. Section 7, made by Super Inklink. We've got some graves. Oh boy, we've got cosmic clones, basically. They're the shadow puppets from Vanessa's Curse, and they're after us. I didn't mean to grab those hearts, but I'm probably not going to come back. There's contracts all over the place. It's spooky. And I failed that jump, so I'm going to hug the wall to get my way backwards. Oh. Ah! You almost broke the camera there, game. Well, at least that resets the clones for being in the way. There we go. We're out there. No thanks. Can I actually climb up here? I mean, I can, but that's pointless. Let's just flip on out. Okay, this looks very Mario-like. They even have the laugh! Now they really are cosmic clones! They got the blue sparkles and everything. There's squares everywhere. What is this? One shot? Got some buttons to press. Let's activate all the panels. Just follow them round so it's all evenly spaced. That'll do. Aha! Right away! Slide on out, as we do. Keep the camera straight, and you should be able to do those turns quite smoothly on a straight line. Don't jump there, that's a trap. And there we go, we're out of there. Oh, there's 2 following us. Get them out! And they're gone, and they want, just like in Mario Galaxy, explode into the main collectible, which is, you know, ponds in this case, not star bits. Section 8, made by Ultra Boo. Desert themed, with yellow platforms. Got some of these levers to pull. Oh, we have a timer. Alright, we've got to go quick. Not gonna pay attention to what's in those barrels. I'm just gonna jump like crazy and stay on this platform here. That'll do it. Activate that real quick. Slam you. Slam you. And activate this as well. Please don't burn me. Damn it. That was poorly timed. Right, let's get out. Don't need to worry about those 2 platforms. Habushki. Right, we want Dweller Mask. I'm just going to do this. It just makes it so much simpler. There we are. Activate that one real quick, and then I'll make my way up. Because there's one cheeky one up here. Should have done this one first, but it's not a problem. I went to sprint hat. Excuse you. Now I can just drop down. Over this way. Got a couple more of these Mario Sunshine secret level platforms. That's the best way to describe them. Swing on over. Pull this real quick. Don't need to kill the enemies right now. All 5 have been activated, and the engine is no longer exploding. Not too sure why putting the first 2 triggers that, but it also allows us to get all the way over here. No collectibles, once again. As I said, it was just that one rift token in Section 6. Now, I like how there's, like, arrows here, like, in the air, but I have tried looking up, and I cannot see the ponds that are cast in that shadow. It's pretty cool. You masked that really well. Section 9 by Rios. I think that's how you're pronouncing it. We've got some tight roping to do. Big jumps to make. Slide on down here. Whee! Ounce of it. Hit this one. We let it carry us up here. Got tight ropes. The urchins have returned. We've also got Mafia trying to be rude, tossing cans at us. Don't let them hit you. That'll probably give you just enough knockback to miss the, I don't know where that was supposed to be taking me, actually. Oh, whoops. I know what I did wrong there. I got to jump back into it. It's going to bounce your way, but you got to jump back this way. That's what you do. Got confused there for a second. Some heart ponds if we need them. There's a crack in this shield, but it's been patched up by a shield. We need to kill these enemies with Dweller. Ah. That took out the entirety of the glass. Even better. Don't need a slide here, but we do have massive hooks we can use to swing, unlike earlier. Now that's why I call momentum. I guess it was like that segment was to tell you that you have to make your own momentum by lunging. But that's just basic movement. You need to move forward, and it's not happening. We've got some heart ponds here, if we need them. Yeah, if they touch you, they don't hurt you, they just launch you. So you got to jump off the walls that actually send you upwards at quite a high speed. So you don't have to try and, like, actually get the speed yourself. Loafs. Section 10 by Miss Katsune. Not to be associated with the Space Kitsune. I don't think. Also, we know that that's not real. We're in a challenge road. That should be purple. You can't trick me. Lol, Lamau even. Yeah, if I was playing this outside of the challenge road, probably. But I wasn't fooled. Maybe that asset needs to be needs to register if it's in challenge mode conditions. Whee! The music here is freaking awesome. I don't want to be too quiet though, in case if this rave is copyrighted by any chance. I mean, I'll play a little bit if need be, but I'll have to see if I'll have to remove it or not. But yeah, this is kind of cool looking. Got like a sweet rave here with some platforming on what looks to be glitchy, blood-soaked platforms, which is a little bit weird. I think that would be a bit better if they were purple to match the aesthetic. But yeah, we just got loaves all over the place. We're basically in like a second layer of this blue rift. So you just did 9 segments, the 6th, 7th being the longest in that half, I guess. This is the second half of the level. They went nuts. And yeah, you can talk to the cats and they'll just meow. We gotta kill all these guys, so I'm just gonna mash the home button. The attack button to home in on all of them. True Sonic fashion. There we go. Take out the support pillar. Bounce with it. And let's continue. How is this game still getting mods for? This is insanity. Like this... I want to just reiterate, like, this is my 26th Let's Play, and I started, like, the mod showcase pretty much near the end of the main game before the DLC coverage, and that was like a year after the game came out or something silly. We're now in 2026, and I'm almost at my, like, 50th Let's Play, but I've got to start my 48th. But I have planned up to the 50th, so that's ridiculous. But, you know, with that pedigree of being officially recognised by the creators at Years for Breakfast for Jonas Karloff, I kind of have to keep that up. What is this, a Monsters Inc. door? Or locker, should I say? Let's go in. Would you like to know something? This is probably the toughest part of the level. And yeah, we were just over there. That was the start of the level, actually, over there. So we've got some health. Got a checkpoint. Basically, just if you see a platform coming towards you from the left, from your peripheral vision, jump for that one. If it goes up too high, you will slip off. And they are kind of as touchy as in Sunshine in this particular case. As you can see here, there's a couple of gaps, so we're just going to have to double jump to make those. It's not too bad, but this is where it can kind of eat your jump if they're still rising. Like that, it just ate my jump, so I only went into double jump, not into, you know, an actual double jump. And I just completely screwed that up, so thankfully voiding out in the water does not cause damage. So as long as you don't get hit by those saw blades, you can keep on trying. And they give you tons of health here still, so that's quite generous. Oh, whoa, was going for a wall climb. That threw off my groove. I kind of half panicked. I need to land on you. Then I can land on you. These don't tilt too high, which is very nice. Right. I'm going to do this now. Basically, when they start moving down is when you want to jump to the next one. I could have skipped that one, but I'm going to do this here. And the music is just about a loop. In practice, it took 2 loops of the music for me to get this. I'm not entirely too sure if you're supposed to jump in the middle of the saw blades, like in the holes or something, but that seems quite awkward. And I don't really want to try. I didn't try myself. So, yeah, that was beyond risky. And I should not have done that because that completely threw me off. Just go by my own advice that I just gave earlier. If you see one in your peripheral vision, jump for it. There we are. Now I'm facing the correct direction. Double jump can correct your direction. We can actually skip that last platform and just make it here. Checkpoint here. It's good to have a checkpoint here in case you just barely miss the jump. But after you take the zip line, that's when the next segment actually begins. If you fall, you got to take the zip line again. So they should just put a... Sure, I guess. How did that happen? I don't know how I managed to do that. That's interesting. But yeah, they should just put another checkpoint there just to save the zip lining again. But it's not that big of an issue. I prefer it down at the bottom than after the zip line, personally. Plus, we shouldn't fall here. There we're going. Lamp. It's yours, my friend, as long as you have enough rupees. It normally comes up when you say bombs, but we haven't really had to use our brewing hat so far. Right, wait for it to get to its peak, so it doesn't eat up our single of the 2 double jumps. Ride this up. Don't need to ride it up all the way. We can actually skip this and go straight for the next cog. Jump here, and we can sit on a loaf. Ready to board the Maxwell Express? Sure. And here's the cool thing about this. We have a cutscene, but we can move the camera. I like cutscenes where it's like a cinematic thing, but you can move the camera like this. This is pretty cool. And Hackett was jiving that entire time. You can actually still void out here, so be careful. Look at that. Darklink GC. That was a marathon. I've got to do that again for a Rift token, but that'll be off screen. We have another level to go through if we don't get a roll. That in itself took 45 minutes. Well, since I hit the record button at least. So yeah, that was a marathon. It takes roughly 30 minutes, but, you know, obviously I'm showing everything off. And this level's going to be just as much, but you can actually beat this level in less than 5 minutes. I mean, the average was 6 to 12, as said in the description. But yeah, this level has, as I mentioned, not only a Death Wish, which gives you a weapon if you at least qualify, but you also get 13 Rift tokens, which is just crazy. There's some heart ponds down there, but you can't get back from being down there if you fall. Some of these gears are malfunctioning. That's a bit of a problem. They're kind of like changing in speeds. So you can kind of see what we got to do here, but there's some skips you can do as well. Not many, but I was actually able to beat the level without doing many skips. The tip from the Snatcher is actually, like, look for shortcuts. I think there's only one legitimate shortcut, but you kind of need to do that anyway in order to unlock something regardless, so yeah, it's kind of interesting. There's a big burb there, and I don't want to deal with him, so I'm going to blow him up. Swap to the wrong hat. But all those enemies dead reveals a panel. I'm not too sure why you couldn't have just blocked the door with the bones, but we have an actual sliding door active there. We'll climb up. We can't do anything else down here. No, lovely stuff. Bounce of it. Swing on over here. Double jump, lunge, cancel in order to make that because that's a bit too high. Flip on over here. And we've got another gate that we need to get through. 3 panels this time. Also, there is this, I don't actually know what this is for. It looks like a picture of Alpine, but it's like a dweller frame. There's no bonfire, and you can make it transparent, but you also have a bunch of stars written on the wall when you use the hat here. I've tried tossing bombs at this thing. I've tried walking into it with the dweller mask. I've even tried trying to pound into it with the ice hat. I don't know what it does, but it seems out of place, personally. But then again, there's a lot of dweller stuff going on, so maybe just there were dwellers here, perhaps? I don't know. It does say mechanical memory, so maybe these are memories in flux. But what's the memory about? Who knows? Yeah, I don't understand why that one's red as well. It just moves a little bit faster than the other two, but you can get across pretty easily. Hit this button, activate this tower for the gate. That's the wrong one. Ice hat our way back over for a shortcut. And you can jump up here, but I don't know what you can do up here. I mean, I guess if I double jumped there, I could have skipped to doing this little set piece. But sometimes Hat Kid just won't climb up the ledge, so I don't like doing it the normal way. Let me see if this actually works. Because when that happens, like, it's just annoying. Yeah, I should be able to just... Well, you can land on top of it. You can't make it, but you can land on top of it. That's what's supposed to happen. So there are options there. Yeah, I keep forgetting. I need to actually keep the dweller mask on. This bit looks solid. It's not actually solid unless you use the dweller mask. That's kind of silly, in my opinion. Like, that bit, the middle part of that platform should not look solid, and it should be in a state of flux like the rest of the platform. Because, like, when you have platforms like this, the crystals are also in flux. So I don't know why the gear is not playing by those rules. So that's a bit strange. Because it looks solid. It's not actually solid unless you use the dweller mask. So, what the hell just happened to my camera? I just went back on myself. Thanks. Not exactly what I wanted. I hate it when that happens. Yeah, let's just go back to Sprint Hat. Make that for the second of the 2 towers. There's nothing behind the towers. Basically, we haven't bumped into any collectibles yet, so don't worry about that for now. In fact, I think that's the very next segment. Have that just for general purposes. Dodge the birds, get onto the zipline really quickly. There we go. Climb up here, just jump across the enemies and do not touch the spores. Ice hat onto the panel. Going around and above where we just were, right into a heart pond. Interesting. And checkpoint. Now, you see where that block is going to the right here? That's the shortcut. I don't know why she was going completely right. I was holding forward. That was very strange. We also have a glowing green box in front of us and another portrait. If we were to climb up here, you can basically bypass this entire segment. But, and I think that's intended, but if it's considered a shortcut, hitting these 2 buttons opens up that gate over there where it says no hats allowed. So we'll go back down. We don't need to worry about the owls. Moustache's rule. A very ominous moustache girl picture here. Is that custom made? Looks like a transcript of a log that has many parts faded away on it. Should I read it? Yes. It reads... I didn't press the button for that. Science Officer's log, stardate 15-something-something.4. It appears that the... something brought us quite a fascinating location. 4 clock towers, what was believed to be extinct whales, and what appears to be a machine in the distance. I am gathering as much data as possible for scientific research, and there is more to what is left of this log. Perhaps so, I must also say that this painting is interesting. It depicts a humanoid little girl with a considerable moustache while sitting on a throne and hourglass objects in the foreground. If the painting is to be believed, then this girl is possibly a part of a humanoid race that achieves the term puberty at an extremely high young age, compared to regular humans, or she simply has a high level of testosterone than a typical human female. Because apparently human females have that bushy of a moustache, in general. However, given the choice of either a moustache or my illustrious ears, it's a logical choice to have a clearly attractive set of ears. The rest is unreadable, the ink's faded away on the rest of the logs. So what's the story here? I don't actually know. It's probably like a follow-up to other mods by Godzilla! We got completely ambushed and now I'm hatless. I gotta get my hat back. That didn't work out well. Get him! Home attack! When they reveal themselves, we smack them. We got our hat back. There was... He knocked me in the air, but because I got caught by the cherry bomb, I landed back on his head, killing him. Talk about getting owned by your own Sparta. That's karma right there. He was probably the one who launched me off. Let's sit down for a second and have a little bit of a breather, because we've been going on for almost an hour already. That is absolutely insane. Like, these challenge roads get quite long. I like having videos that more of like a decent length, not bite size, but 20 to 35 minutes has always been my standard length, because I like videos that are more digestible. I like going from video to video, even if it's in a series, it just breaks it up. Long videos are intimidating to me, but because this is a singular challenge road, I have to cover them in a single video. It's just what needs to be done. Plus, I wouldn't want to stop it halfway through. If it's... I have to come back to a level, and it's like a part 2 sort of thing, like with December Decisions. That in itself took like a good long while, and playing the level again is basically double the length, so doing a 2-parter makes sense, especially if we are covering challenge roads or additional acts that are not available within the challenge road, because I'm covering the mod in full, and it gets a full showcase, and I don't want to leave things half-finished, which has happened in the history of the channel, but sometimes you can't help that. You gotta work with what you got, and Pokemon has definitely had a bit of a rocky road on this channel, I will say. Let's grab one of these mini cherry bombs, blow open the ice, and let's see what's going on in here. But beforehand, arm yourself. I'm going to take No Bonk off for a second and have Projectile Badge. Not a fan of Projectile Badge sometimes, because it's annoying, but we're not going to be able to use our Brewing Hat for this. Mafia do not take kindly to intruders. And they're dwellered. So what we need to do is activate our Dweller... Okay, what's going on here? Activate our Dweller Mask. Shoot him! Oh my god, what happened there? Did I kill a bunch in the background? Yeah, do not enter here. This is nightmare. Otherwise, you gotta, like, activate your hat and attack them all. And do that. If you're in the middle of a homing attack and your Dweller Hat like, deactivates, you will kind of just bounce off them, like you don't do any damage. Because they become invulnerable. Right, they're glowing. You can get about 2 homing attacks and, like, maybe 2.5 combos per hat use. Sorry, I'm trying to concentrate and not, you know, get overwhelmed. I haven't actually had to use my projectile hat, actually. I didn't get as overwhelmed as I did last time I scored because I'm aware of what's going on. Right, I'm getting there now. Seems like this computer has some old logs from the captain of this ship. Shall I read them? Sure. Captain's log, stardate 1513.8. Star maps reveal no indication of inhabitable planets nearby. Origin and purpose of the cube is still unknown. We've been here held motionless for 18 hours. Mate, you spawned inside of a cube. I can get a few more logs out of this computer. Shall I read the next one? Sure. Captain's log, stardate 1514.1 since show a wormhole opening up. The wormhole was drawing us in. We are using everything we've got to break out the pool. What's caused the wormhole to open in the first place is currently unknown. Seems like there is one more log in the system. Stardate 1534.5. According to the star chart, Mafia has found this ship hull floating in void. Mafia claims the ship as our own. Old crew seems like to have disappeared. Now Mafia and crew will figure out how to get out of this void and get back home. After we get back, Mafia will build more ships like this and make Space Armada. This ship wasn't the Mafia's. They took it over to try and get out of this time portal. Time rift. We can sit on every single one of these chairs. And I like how that there's a lot of, like, technically games on these. Like, you got Space Invaders, you got Pong, got Asteroids, I think that's Asteroids, and then you got Snake here. I like how they've all just depicted with game screens, which is kind of interesting. Also, there's a glow behind there. Secret key! What does that do? Well, getting back to this ship, the Mafia did not own this ship. Also, it's got a very familiar layout. Not exactly, some creative liberties were taken, but let's just sit into this chair. The captain's seat. It's the sound of the original series, Enterprise. NCC 1701. No bloody A, B, C, or D, or the NX pre-Federation of Planets Classic. Yeah, that is basically all that we have for that. So we can see that there is a shattered glass here that we could actually walk through. Oh, wait, hang on a minute. That requires a cherry bomb. I'm not going to go that way. There's no point, because if you're going to come back out here, you might as well go up and over anyway, because we want collectibles. So we'll basically be on the opposite side of that regardless. So let's climb back up here. Yeah, this part of the level is kind of just here. It might be part of the collectible memories. I don't know what is going on here. And I don't want that one anymore. That's annoying. That's actually messing with my combos. You can just get the heck out of here. There we go. So if I were to come over this way, you can see the glowiness. If we came out of that shard tunnel, we would have had to basically jump over, ignore the spinning pink cube, which I have no clue what's there for, swing on over, basically back to here, really. Then you can climb up and jump across. But the reason why I had to come back up here is because when you come up this way, you got to go into this little crevice on top of the green cube. And there's a hidden chest here with a rift token. That is 1 of 13. Don't worry, this is the only one that's kind of hidden and out of the way. But if you want the next 4, you need this key within the ship. So we're just going to climb back out of here. Nice. And we're just going to make our way across here. Double jump, lunge, stretch out. You can make it pretty easily. And we can move on to our next puzzle, which is the final segment of the level, technically. We've got another gate, so we need to open that up. There is some illness spreading here. Bit of a problem there. Spider, I saw you. You are blocking my door. I'll smack you with the key and then open up the door, just like a heartless. And, yeah, we've found a little treasury here. Let's blow everything up. Oh, there's another one. 4 tokens. 3 on top, 1 inside. We are going to be loaded. Right, let's get out of there and let's continue on with the level proper. You can use time stop hat if you want to. These sometimes stutter, which can help you out. The final jump needs Dweller Mask, so we will have to equip that real quick. And to hit the switch as well, just ignore the birds and... Come on, really? You're going to launch me out like that? That's just rude. Hitting that switch will allow us to get past that gate that we can just bounce straight back towards. And we do not actually need to deal with any of these enemies. Just ignore them and take out the illness that is only just beginning to spread. And with that, the cogs are fixed. Which doesn't actually seem to do anything from what I can observe. It just makes the gears all spin at a normal speed. Which doesn't really mean anything in terms of progression either, because we're at the end. Maybe the characters at the end won't let you through, I don't know. But you have to do that to open up the weight anyway. I think it's just a cutscene to solve the problem that we're mentioning the gears. There we go.
Thank you.
These guys always get the same shots of me. Coincidence? Not to mention, he's always in a dweller state. So, would he be taking dweller pictures? Phantom pictures? Ghostly pictures? I'll give it some more thought later. It'd be cool if these two worked on films together. Science fiction spaghetti western. Space cowboys. No, how about a murder in space? They're in a dweller state, so actual ghost movies? I don't know, I got a timepiece to collect. Yeah, well, we don't do that right now. Because there is a purple rift hatch behind all this. What's that about? We're in a blue rift, not a purple rift. Even in a dweller state, these Mafia cannot stop dancing their hearts out. Look so derpy. I wonder if any minion besides me has rebelled against the Snatcher. Though, I don't think that these guys can do a lot of combat, but I wouldn't know until I see one do some fighting. Also, when you use the Dweller Mask here, you have a cheeky enemy that's going to try and land on you, which you can smack. And also, Snatchy Boy on the floor there, hinting toward the Death Wish, because this would obviously be the end for the Death Wish. Ah, Moustache. Even though I'm still angry at what she did and what she could have done to time itself, deep down I wish you'd understand that you just cannot mess with time without knowing what to do. It's best to look at the future and look on the bigger scale. Instead of potentially causing a time collapse that could extinguish me and everyone in the universe in a matter of seconds. Basically, I hope all the best for Moustache. Maybe we'll cross paths again one day. And hopefully she does not try to change history again. Man, I look cool in that pose. Well, I'll admire myself more later. I've got to get a timepiece. My buddy, partner, companion, or whatever you wish to call her. She's my new friend. At least when I need her outside of the current rules of Death Wish, that is. She's at least there for me if I need help or just want to goof off. That's what I call a true friend. Hopefully she won't backstab me in the future. Like a certain madam, as I'm pressing on buttons. Maybe one day I can see one of Steve's albums. But we'll grab the timepiece in a second, despite what Hackett wants to do, because there's more to investigate. Hello, little child. This gate takes you to an optional platforming section. If you want a lot of roulette tokens, you've come to the right place. Don't worry, when you reach the end, the gate over there will bring you back here and you can get the timepiece. Mafia will not take it. I have no use for it since you're more fascinated in this dweller state. State? Yeah. Maybe Mafia will find that seagull keeps taking my food from family and punch it in the face. Or maybe that is too harsh. Mafia will think about it. See you later, little hat kid. We have access! The only rift pawn in this rift. And it's not opening up. There we go. Being a bit fussy there, I see. I'm pretty sure this music is from some form of Ratchet & Clank. Other Mafia most likely forgot to tell you this, but if you change your mind on doing this optional platforming section, there is a gate behind you to go back to the end of the map. Don't worry, if you still want to do it, there is a gate on the other side that will take you back as well. Anyways, any questions about the section? How does it work? Simple really, you press big button over there and you jump on coloured platforms. But be careful, the moment you step on one colour, all platforms with that colour will fall down and vice versa. Also, you are timed for each little room. Once you pass the 3 main rooms, you'll be greeted with a gate to go back and more of the roulette tokens. That is all. Now, Mafia will ponder what it is like to be in a dweller state. Everyone's in a dweller state here, what's going on? Also, this is probably the most non-dweller or hat in time-like area in the entire rift. It's a bit weird, maybe it has something to do with the ship. So yes, you land on a colour and all the other colours fall. You just got, well, they do come back if you do take enough time, but the time limit is only for the platforms to stay up in general. So even if you are in mid-jump, don't worry, there's no gate that's going to stop you, although I do need Dweller Mask for this. There we go. We've got one more little segment here, that is perfectly fine. We can get this done pretty quickly, because we can just skip the final platform and make it. I went to the wrong hat. I thought I was on my... I probably should take off the that Dweller Mask, because it makes me confused that I'm wearing the... whoops. I'm wearing the actual Hat Kid hat. Because it's part of it. Oh! Foot stalled! Lovely. I think I need this again. Oh my god, I landed on it twice. That's fine. I can make it to the green. I don't actually need the Dweller Mask for this. I can just Ice Hat up here. And there we go. It's that easy, honestly. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rift tokens for completing that. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Lot of editing for me. 4 to the 5. Then it's 6. Avoiding last year's meme that should die and burn. Because 7, 8, 9. There is no 9. That's why 7, 8, 9. There's only 8. Let's get out of here. And put this to the end. Ha-ha! We're not actually done yet. We got one more thing to do. We got to do this on a speed up. Oh, but first, one more roll. We're going to probably get another roll when I get the timepiece itself outside of the challenge road for a Rift token, but we have more sounds. Can I get something else? Because I believe this mod also came with dies. Yes, it actually did. They stuck some dies in there. The 3 o'clock blue, so I'll equip that. This is what it looks like. I actually like this. I like the dark blues and blacks. Oh, I like the dyed umbrella as well. Am I blind or something? ST. Dark Forest, Great Sea, Text, Tail Coolers, Unriff Rush, Unriff Cherry Ocean, Cogs, Cosmic Pop, Rogue Echoes, Rainbow Road. So it's on the first set of T, but I don't see it in the first set of T. Just put it in one whole segment. Why is it split into 2? Where's S? Here we are, right. Here we are, Terrestrial Inferno, Ash, the Ash Bit, the Birdhouse Rift, Blue Orange Rift, Circus of Gravity Insane, Ender's Nigh, Bones and Peak, the Giving Tree, Great Gravity Maze, Hands of Time, the Headless Horseman, Lava Lands, the Magic Ice Chest, the Painted Sandcastle, the Seal Rift, the Subcon Snare, Through the Dimensions, Through the Forest, Through the Leaves, Timepieces, Time Rip Level, Time Rip Bazaar, Time Wave Climb, It's a Question Mark, Unlocking Roots, Wall Run, Time's End, Timepiece Rescue, Time Rush Beta, Triple Snatcher, Triple Shark. Who is it? Is there a third section? There is a third section. Why is it split between 3 alphabetical orders? There's like, it's in alphabetical order, but it's like 3 separate blocks of alphabetical order. I think that mod needs to be fixed because that is strange. Oh, you don't actually get a roll for the big blue collab. Well, at least we can see the costume here. Yeah, it's down here. What? I don't understand. Like, hang on a minute. They're all labelled with played. Does this not count as being played? Oh, if I actually leave a mark... No, because it still splits it up into 2 segments. Wait, these might haven't been marked as played at all. Okay, I can see what's happening. It's, for whatever reason, sorting them into, have you played them, have you not played them, or even though I have played some of these, they have lost their mark. But if they have the little mouse icon, that means you've actually rated them. If they have the play icon, like the green arrow, that means you've played it. If they have the mouse icon, that means you've rated it. So it's kind of splitting them that way. And I'm really bad at rating. I apologise for that. But at the same time, that is very strange why I can't find these levels. Show unfinished. Oh! I'm stupid. Wait, what? Why is it frozen? I did not mean to turn that off. I can see where I've been looking at alphabetical. I didn't realise that it says shows finished mods at the end of the list and unfinished mods at the beginning of the list, which, by the way, there's a typo there. Double I. So you might want to update that. I'm turning both of these off because that is really messing with me. I just want them in alphabetical, please. Now that I finally sorted that out, there should be no more bloody confusion. Yep, I do get another roll for doing it outside the challenge road. Get another colour? Yes, please. Swamped? Might as well. And I'll be able to see that right now. It's basically the raincoat colour scheme again. Yeah, I probably do have a couple of duplicates with different names, but that's just what happens when you have a wide range of workshop stuff. And again, these dyes were included with one of these two mods, I forget which, but obviously we've already covered that with the splash screen when I load in. There we go. Now this menu is fixed. If I go all the way down to the bottom, I should see no of other letters anywhere. Yep. We solved the problem. Well, I only took a couple of videos to do. I scan read to see where the alphabetical thing is, to see if that's on or off. Couldn't figure out why it was splitting it between 3. It's because the other 2 options were on. I do not know when they were added. But yeah, that is mechanical mayhem, I'm going to call that, because the mechanical collab, the memorable collab, I don't know. Yeah, the mechanical collab, it sounds like a good name for this, actually, considering that there was a lot of mechanics being used in the collab, so it's perfect name. But we're not done yet, unfortunately. I need to go to the Death Wish map, and not that, which, again, almost, yeah, I never actually went back to sort that out. I need to go to the modding page, and I need to go for this one that requires 15 modded tokens, which I have, and it's the Mechanical Memory Speedrun. Beat the level in 5 minutes or less. Guess what? I can actually get all 3 stamps in one go. Let's do it! This isn't too bad as long as I don't fall. And again, the Snatcher's comment is just look for some shortcuts. I've actually noticed while I was going through the level to get my Rod Biff token / my timepiece, that I noticed that I'm actually skipping 2 hooks without even realising it. So the skips are actually quite obvious. And even then, there's not that many skips, as I mentioned before. So when he says looking for shortcuts, I think that's actually like a sneaky anti-tip. Like, if you don't get the angle good there, you can just do that, so it's fine. It's only going to cost you, like, what, an extra half a second or so. Just don't mess these up. I don't need the Willow Mask for this, because we've got the belt. So just let go of sprint to turn around quicker. And then just full send with the sprint. And just do this again, jump across here, change to brewing hat, so I can blow up the big guy. Maybe 2 in 1. Like that, there we go. It's because the bully bird fell down. Because I landed on my bottom, I couldn't swap to sprint hat, that's fine. Yeah, because when it says you don't need to interact with everything, I thought, like, oh, is there a way on skipping this gate or something? But apparently not. Not that I can see, at least. Because that's just too tall. You can actually skip that platform if you have the bounces. Yeah, I'm going to quickly just show, after a double jump lunge, if I turn the camera, see, look, there's 4 hooks, not 3. Didn't realise that until I went through it again. But, yeah, only just noticed that getting the token. So I was actually unintentionally skipping in the first place. But it's pretty easy to make, honestly. Right, I want to swap to time stop for this. Because as long as these line up in a good manner, like that, I can then slow down time, just jump across, swing over, swap back to Ice Hat, bounce across. I'm doing it this way because it's quicker than chancing to climb onto the side, plus we need the hat on anyway. Can I get the zip? No, I can get hit, though. There we are. I got the zip. Even though after I got hit. Hey! Whoa! No! No! That's not fair! Are you kidding me? Oh, I'm grabbing that heart on. That better not checkpoint me back down there. Are you That's not fair. That is really not fair. What the actual hell happened there? Not only did I get checkpointed back to where I landed where I didn't mean to land, but the camera snapped around, which caused me to fall in the first place. That's not fair, man. Now we've got to do all that again. And I can't sprint because I was on the sprint hat. And I couldn't wall climb there either. Okay, now everything's breaking. Yeah, it wouldn't be a video about... Up! I'm pressing D-pad up! Of course, it wouldn't be a video on playing a Death Wish if something didn't break and then everything just broke all at once. Like, really? Come on. I was on a roll. It wasn't my fault that the camera did a weird snafu. Once again. I had no problems doing this. I obviously had, like, some, like... I had to practice, obviously. It took me, like, 3 attempts. And 2 resets because I flubbed myself with experimentation. Here, I've basically had to give up twice because the game bugged. Like, that's not my fault. I didn't climb the wall on that second attempt there, and I landed here when I didn't want to do that because the camera snafu'd. Like, that's not my fault at all. As if we need this video to be any longer. This isn't a bad speedrun, honestly. This is pretty doable. I just got screwed out. Lost the bomb. There we go. Right. Let's get back to where I was. That was not that high to land on my bottom. The last thing I need is mechanics not working when I'm trying to do basic stuff. Now I'm kind of scared of making this jump, even though I've done it every time so far. Just because of that instance, because I have to do all this again, and I can't exactly cut it out, can I? At least it doesn't have that stupid stipulation where if you fail 3 times, you have to wait 5 minutes. That is so stupid. There's actually a mod that removes that problem. And yes, I'm calling it a problem, because it messes with your muscle memory. I know it's probably intended for you to be like, take a breather and then come back. But how are you supposed to know and learn where all the rift ponds are if it does that? Like, once again, I'm on Death Wish, and once again, I'm, like, complaining about it. Like, I wouldn't be on this tangent if it didn't break on me. And that can happen in the normal game as well, but it didn't happen too much. Why did I swap off of that? I need to keep this on with this, pretty much this whole segment. I'm messing up now because I'm battling. Climb. That was close. Thank you for not doing that to my camera this time. Right, now we can actually continue on with this properly. Don't know why it felt the need to do that to me. It's like the Death Wishes don't want to be liked. But again, this is a very simple one. Other than that snafu, I don't really have any problems with going through this. Just gotta run up here, dodge all these like before. I think my saltiness ended right where I got back up to where I failed because that's what caused the saltiness in the first place. We just want to completely ignore the ship and we want to go in this direction and climb up. You could leave it a little bit later, but I'm just going straight up. I don't know why this level hangs every so often. We don't need to hit the panels, just need to get out of here, keep jumping so you don't get stuck on the stairs. Double jump without the sprint, lunge, cancel, and we make it here. And we're basically on the final stretch. Now, I don't know how to avoid this gate, so we're just going to do it normally. Just got a full send with the sprint hat up until I get to the end here. Got to swap the dweller mask to jump on here. I also need it in order to get into that box. To hit the panel, then hit the ice panel. That's not the ice hat. Ignore everything and just go straight for the illness. See, if that camera issue didn't happen, I would have been clear. That was so stupid. And again, we don't need to hit the panel. We just need to go straight to the end. Even though you can skip that cutscene. Oh, clean. Look at that. Only have to beat it under 4:40. I beat it under 4 minutes. And I get another spin for that, even though I've already grabbed the timepiece outside of the Death Wishes and Challenge Road. For some reason, it gives me another spin. I'm not complaining. But I would like another die. I'm not really in the mood for music today. There we go, because that's just more editing for me. We got some binary. Let's have a look at that. But not before we look at our shiny new weapon. The Mafia's rollerblade. Not rollerblade as in what you skate on, but what he basically attacks you with, his sword. Let's equip that and have a little look. This is a bit weird. I don't know if I like this. I guess if you have the right hat for it. Yeah, it looks better if the turkey mask kind of doesn't do it for me, but other stuff kind of complements it. It's like pastel colours in a way, with a bit more vibrancy to it. Anyway, this is the weapon. Yeah, it's basically what you thought were batons. They're actually swords, but like with a massive guard on them that makes it look like a club. I guess that's the idea. It conceals it like a club, and you can just smack. Where's the Mafia boss? Let's go see him. Hey, Mafia! Down with yourself, because I have your weapon! Smacked him. Fortunately, that doesn't crack his glass, because it's not actually a glass. The jar is rubber. Anyways, that was a long one. Once again, that was like a mishmash of different stuff to see. That was a lot of tokens. I have like 18 tokens? Yeah, I have 17 tokens, but it would have given me 16. 14, 15, 16, because I had one additional. But yeah, that is kind of insane. So I hope you enjoyed that. I don't know what the next challenge road will bring, but we all know it's not going to end. It's just going to keep on rolling. See you guys then.